Good.
Good. So, hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Making It in Austria. My name is Adela Mehjanic, and today I have a pleasure to interview my former MBA colleague, Diana Cadavid, who has an amazing story. It's really a fascinating story to tell about her way to make it in Austria. And I'm really excited about this, and I know that you're going to love this story. So, Diana, welcome to our channel.
Hi, Adela. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here, especially because this is a challenge for me. Even if I am extrovert, I am afraid of cameras, so I hope I will make it.
You will. So we are all. So I don't know many people who are just like not afraid of it. And what I learned through this year is that practice makes it perfect. And the stories that we share here are for the people like you and I, real people that have the passion and they want to do something and they want to try new things out. So I think it's very important that we say that we as well have, questions and doubts and so on. So Diana, now you're working in an international company here in Austria. So you have a very exciting job. So you told me that you're really happy, and I'm really happy for you. Can you tell me a little bit about your story? So how did you come to Austria? So what brought you to Austria?
Yeah, so this is not the first country where I lived out of my home country. I'm originally from Colombia and I have lived already in 4 countries, but Austria is a special case. Why? Because I came here as an immigrant with my 2 cases, my husband and my 2 dogs. Yes, we came here with our dogs because they are like, they are part of our family. So why we decided to come to Europe and why we decided to make it in that way. We lived in Switzerland and I was living there as an expat, so I had pretty much everything. And we were fascinating how Europeans approach life, how life and good standards in Europe are compared with Latin America. So we decided that it was a great opportunity because of our age and because we could save a little bit of money with our making our careers. That was a great opportunity and a great moment to come to Europe. How we made it, we decided to come here to make our master's degree. We always wanted to continue our education, and we thought that the combination of studying and making it here in Austria was possible. So the journey started, we came here in 2017, but we started looking for universities, preparing everything, GMAT, TOEFL, and everything 1 year in advance. I did, of course, the MBA with you in VU, and the preparation was high, but not as complicated as for my husband. He did the master's in finance in Univin. So he had to prepare the GMAT, which requires a lot of study. So we did everything in 1 year, but we didn't do German. And I think that was one mistake that people can learn from. If you want to come to this country, I highly advise, please learn the language before you come here. Anything that you can do, every word that you can say has a value. So we didn't study German, so we came here, and after 2 days we said, we need to study German immediately. So we registered immediately to a German course, which I highly recommend in Sprachenzentrum in Univin. We were living in a Studentheim or in a student dorm. The both of us with our dogs in the veterinary student dorm. and we were living with young people. So for us, this was really a new beginning. We sold everything that we have in that moment in Mexico. I'm Colombian, but my husband is Mexican. And okay, we start this new life living with people of 18 years old, sharing the kitchen. Yeah. And we started with our studies in the university as well, very, very disciplined with our studies in German.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it's in Austria, you need to do it. During a year, so we had the privilege to just study, but during this year, we also started our networking, and we started doing participations in career calling that is made from the main universities here in Austria. And after almost 10 years, 10 months, sorry, my husband found a job as an intern. So that was also a new learning for us. If we wanted to make it here, we had to start from the beginning.
Yep.
And from the beginning means as an intern. It doesn't matter. It also adds you value to learn the culture, to learn the way the Austrians work, to learn the ecosystem. Yeah. And then during my journey, I also understood that I was very specialized in one area, in the FMCG sector, in fast moving goods. And here in Austria, we don't have so many of these companies. So I also realized that I needed to expand my knowledge, my horizons, and to meet more people that could help me to arrive to my dream job. And you was one of the people who has helped me a lot on how to make it, how to really make connections, and how to really do a good networking.
So how many years are you now in Austria, Diana?
I have been in Austria 3 years, but I just started working 2 months ago in my new job. But I must say that you have to do a lot of compromises, right? Before you end in your dream state. And I did many jobs. So I was babysitter, a waitress, and I started as well my own business.
Yes.
So one of my passions is cooking. I dream with being a cook, and I started selling healthy breads.
They are very delicious. They are very delicious.
Thank you.
I tasted them. By the way, you're my second guest who also says that she wants to be a cook. So my
Yeah, I
previous
saw.
guest, Maya, she is also into cooking. So maybe you can start something together, something
together.
international. She's from
Yes.
Croatia. I love international kitchen. You bring different flavors together. But one thing I wanted to say about so to people who are listening, internship or traineeship here in Austria is also where the way I started. And as you said yourself, it's a perfect opportunity to start basically to get the foot into the door. So you have a contract with the company, you're paid for your for your work. You're protected under the Austrian law. And as you said yourself, so you can learn so much and you can meet people, and then you can look around through the company and say, okay, I would like to look at this department or that department. So it's a great opportunity. So if you it starts from it's from the beginning. So you start from the beginning, but very fast. So since you have already expertise and know-how and you want to succeed, it's a good really good entry point. That you can get the job very, very fast and start learning from there. So how much did MBA study, so how much studies did help you, Diana, with finding this new job?
When I reflect about what the MBA has gave me, mainly is the network that I acquire and learning from my colleagues.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the key um, elements that MBA can give you,
Mhm.
expand your horizons and the way you look at things. Fortunately, I was working in different countries before I did my MBA, so I already had this mindset of being
Mhm.
open, listen. It's very important when you are in an international ecosystem. You have to listen to others because we are different. We are different. We are coming from different cultures, different experiences, ways of living. So but in the MBA, I learned that you have to be humble as well. You
Mm.
have to be open to meet new people and to make really good connections. And I must say that the MBA gave me a family.
Mm.
One of my colleagues, my Austrian colleague, she has introduced me to her family, and they became now my family, which I visit every summer and every Christmas. So
Oh.
I love that. And something that we have learned from our previous experiences living in other countries is try to mingle with locals. Okay. In my previous experiences, because I was an expat, I came to the country with a job and everything was easier,
Mhm.
which if I compare the two experiences, yes, being an expat is so much easier than being an immigrant. We always stay within our communities, and it's important. I mean, you
Yes.
cannot forget who you are, but please I highly recommend mingle with locals. Know the culture, know how people think, know how people behave, what they like, what they don't like, what they appreciate in others,
Mhm.
because that will help you to really make it here.
Mm, I strongly agree, and it was as well mentioned by a few other guests that we had on our channel, and I do agree. And I talked to many Austrians about starting this channel, and that was one of the things that they all underlined: the German language, as you said. So
Mhm.
because it's important to appreciate the culture, and as well to be able to talk to each other, because
Yeah.
the only way how we can make a relationship and build upon that is if you speak the same language. And on the other hand, Austrians do speak English, so it's as well that you can find things that you're looking for in English, but mostly it's very German oriented, so driven culture. So how
Mhm.
do you go nowadays with the German language? So is it still like a big word and then a buzzword, or you just feel comfortable day after day?
Um, I feel comfortable day after day, but I must say that I'm not super fluent, and I have realized that I don't have this talent for languages, but I try.
Yeah.
So right now in my job, I have to deal with many German factories, and sometimes people don't speak English, so
Hmm.
I have to deal in German, and I do it. And in lunch break, I do it in German. I also continue doing tandem.
Hmm.
Tandem is where you can change languages. So I do tandem once per week. Yeah, and I do it every time that I can, especially as well. I call once per week my Austrian family, and with them, yes or yes, I have to speak in German. So German is a difficult language, at least for people who speak Latin languages,
Hmm.
but it's fascinating because it's a very logic language. So I like it very much. Yeah.
That's good. You're right. So it has the reasons. There's logic and reasoning behind the German language. So
Yes.
after a couple of years now, and you said you have your friends, you have your family. So both you and your husband have jobs. So how do you feel in Austria nowadays?
Completed. I said today we were in doing our weekly shopping, and I said to my husband, "Hey, we have a perfect life." And why? Because we fought for our dreams, and now they came true. Like we came here with nothing, and now we have jobs. Um, yeah, this month we could save money,
Yeah.
which is very important when you pass for being a
Yeah.
student, when you have a really proper job. And so it's really great to fight for the things that you want to accomplish in life.
Oh.
And that makes us very, very happy.
Oh, I got the goosebumps. I got the goosebumps. I'm so happy for you guys. So
Thank
for
you.
people who are listening now, so what would you say in the if they want to move to Austria, let's say in 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, so how they can prepare in the best way? What would be your key takeaways?
Yes, as I said, start learning German. One other advice that I always give to someone that I meet is, many people will say to you that it's complicated. And before we came here, even my psychologist, he said to me, Diana, you are crazy. You have here, at that moment we were living in Mexico, you had a job, you have your house, you have everything. What you want to go there? So many people will, let's say that is not easy, or maybe that is not worth it,
Hmm.
but never listen to that. Always remember what you want to achieve, what is your dream, and fight for it. If you don't make it in 1 year, in 2 years,
Hmm. Hmm.
will happen in a point. For me, it took 3 years to find my dream job. But
Yeah.
in between, I did many things. And sometimes, yes, I felt like desperate. I felt like I was not good enough, or,
Hmm.
but that's why it's so important to mingle with positive people as well, with people that believe that you can make it, because you can make it. So that is my advice. Always mingle with people that have the same dream, and that think that you can make it wherever you go, and especially if you come to Austria. Don't listen to the bad comments about how Austrians are, or maybe they are not super open on it,
Hmm.
or such a things. Depends. Every experience depends in every person, and we all have different points of view. So don't listen to those comments, because that starts to make you think in ways that maybe your experience will say another thing. So yeah, focus in learning German, focus in your studies. I think coming here to do a master's degree is a great way to do it. You also did it like that. Um, the language, try to make Austrian friends, and don't listen to the people that will say it's difficult, or that, yeah.
Yeah. As you said, focus is so important, and knowing what you want and giving
Correct.
yourself time. So if it doesn't happen in 3 months, so what can you do in these 3 months? How you can make progress, so that you feel every day, okay, I'm learning German, I'm meeting new people, I'm sending CVs, and so I'm making progress. So that's very important. I want to ask you, Diana, about your experience looking for a job in Austria. So how did that look like? So did you send, hundreds of CVs? Did you send it in English or in German? So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So I sent that thousands of CVs, yes, but I was fortunate to have the opportunity to meet Sandra
Hmm.
Bilk
Yes.
from Career Angels, who is
Hmm.
a boutique with a lot of experience in helping people to find job,
Hmm.
helping managers mainly, and Sandra helped us to make attractive CVs. So
Hmm.
I also recommend that. Find someone that can help you to make a very attractive CV.
Hmm.
At the beginning, we only did it in English, but then I realized that for me, what's important also to have it in German. Why? Because the 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 area of my job is in Austria, it's mainly in German.
Mhm.
People speak in German in production, in factories, in plants, and I was very focused on it. So I changed it to German, and I had some interviews in German.
Mhm.
Um, but I landed to this job because I met someone who recommended me to this job. And here in Austria, that works a lot. If someone can recommend you, you have already 1 foot, 1 feet in this job.
Yeah.
It's very important that someone talks about you and that put your CV in the correct hands.
Mhm.
So this is how I did it. For me, I must say that also sending CVs and doing the normal process application could work. Previously, I was working in Germany and I found this job just by applying normal process. But of course, was in Germany, away from my husband. I love Austria so much with all my heart. I wanted to come back to Austria. And so yes, someone has recommended me, and that's why I landed in this job. For my husband, he did it through the university portal. He
Mhm.
applied to the university portal and he got his job. But he has also recommended people in his company that also got a job because of his recommendation. So yeah, and I must say that meeting people not is not just to find a super perfect job, but I don't know. I also met people that helped me to have a job as a waitress.
Yeah.
That helped me in the meantime when I was looking for or when I was before I found this job. So meet a lot of people, connect with people because you never know to whom you can help or who can help you.
That's a great answer, Diana. And I think Vienna, it's very international and it offers so many possibilities to meet people from different communities, and especially nowadays, so through online communities, through different meetups, so you can find basically whatever you have interest
Hmm.
for. I don't know if it's baking, or if it's, you want to get engaged in different social activities and so on. So there are so many, or your community from where you come from. For instance, I have my community from Bosnia and Herzegovina here, which is a very strong community, and they are all business women. So as you said yourself, it's not always about finding the job, so that someone is going to find me a job, but it's also about different things in life, because you have, I found my doctor through that network, and I found some
Hmm.
really good ladies that I share so many common interests, and we become friends and we do different things together, and I call them for various advices, or we share different places where we can go out for the weekend. So there's so much, because life is not only about I have a super job and everything aside that is equally important. As much your professional success is important, how much you feel here that you're at home and feel welcome and have the community around yourself. And as you said, you never know who you can help with
Hmm.
your story, with your advice, with sharing some ideas, and who is going to help you. And I like what you said at the beginning. It's also about going out, being proactive. I think that's
Hmm.
very what you're trying to say as well, is being very proactive, going out, meeting people, asking for advice, asking for help, for support, for the next step. I think that's very crucial, not to close yourself and think, okay, this is not possible or it's not happening. Go out and meet people and be very, very active. And nowadays there's so many different tools how to do that. So thank you for that. So yeah, tell me.
I also recommend to volunteer.
Hmm.
I had the chance to volunteer in Widow 5.
Yeah.
They help social entrepreneurs. And I was also about to start in Hub the innovation hub here in Vienna,
Mhm.
where I met such a great people. I mean, so try also to volunteer, because that will expand your knowledge as well as the connections you can make with people.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So you meet people for that cause, and as you said, you can meet international people. You can meet Austrians, and that's the great way forward. I remember I'm still in contact with some of my first colleagues back at like 5 years ago, and we still have a chat. And sometimes I get stuck in the Austrian process of tax returns or many different things, and I just give them a call, and then it's always good to have this community, and especially if it's on the same coast, then the bonds are even stronger.
Yes.
So before we wrap up for today, so how can people connect with you? So how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, through my LinkedIn page, and I will also share my email, which is in my LinkedIn page, but I can share and we can post it here in your
Mhm.
channel.
So people can get in touch with you. And
Yes, anything that you need, any advice. Last advice that I would like
yes.
to give also, please always in the bureaucratic process, read everything very well. Don't let your friend tell, you have to do this, hire a lawyer. No. If you read here in Austria, everything is super clear. And I have seen so many stories where people had made so many mistakes because they don't read through
Mhm.
and they don't follow the process. Here, it's very important to follow processes and
Mhm.
not to try to jump or listen to someone who did it in other way. So always follow process, read everything in the web page, in the university's web page, everything is very, very clear. So go through these steps.
Yeah, and I think some of them they have also consultations hours, and there are different
Correct.
services within in Vienna at least, also in English that can give you different advices. For instance, if you want to start your company or whatever it is. So there are different points where you can go and ask, and sometimes they have in different languages, not just English. I know that they have in Bosnian, Serbian, Croatian language for some of the services as well. So it's, as you said, it's good to get informed. Last but not least, I ask all of my guests what they're reading at the moment. So can
Mhm.
you share with us?
Yes. Now that I work with a lot of Germans, Austrians, and Eastern European people, I'm reading How to Deal with Stupid People, not because my colleagues are stupid, but the how to deal with many different personalities,
Yeah.
how you can from the acts or behaviors from other people detect how can you deliver your message in a more effective way. It's a great book because it's about and we have many heard these blue or yellow or red personalities, so
Mm-hmm.
they describe all these type of personalities and how you can approach them to stop thinking that people is stupid because they don't understand you. It's because you don't understand people, because you don't know how people are and how you can communicate with them, because we are different. So it's a great book.
And the title is How to
How
Deal.
to deal with stupid people.
Okay, so
Mhm.
I will put the name in the within the YouTube channel so that the people know what we are reading. Maybe after we have 20 episodes, I can put all the books that all of my guests are reading. So I think it will be a great collection, a book
Yes.
collection. So I will do that. So I will check that book, and it's so, as you said, Dan, it's so important because in Vienna in general, so it's a multicultural environment, and sometimes it looks like this iceberg, sometimes it looks like, I figured it out, it's all clear, or they are closed, or they are open, and and so on. So I like what you said with approaching it individually to people and seeing how you can, frame your message so that at the end of the day you understand one another and you deliver value, because it's not about I'm right, you're wrong, and so on. It's about that we solve whatever we are trying to solve. Great, Diana. So thank you so much for being our guest today. For all of you listening here, so I will tag along the LinkedIn page from Diana in our description, our YouTube description. Every week we bring new interesting stories and guests. I hope you liked this one. It was a fascinating story, and I can hear it all over again about you two and your two lovely dogs here in Vienna. So thank you so much for sharing with us. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. We as well have a small growing LinkedIn group called Make It in Austria. So where we will be more talking to our guests and the community about what are the questions that you would like me to ask next guests. So thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. Thank you, Diana. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Amelia.
Thank you.
Schönes Wochenende.
Thank you. You too. Schönes Wochenende.
Bye.